Hey guys, what's up? It's your girl done now. Look, I have an audio recording. I know I haven't done one of these in a long time on YouTube, but I received. Well, first of all, I have my friend Mark right here. Mark, say hi to my audience.
Hello.
All right, so y'all, today I am going to. I have my friend Mark to help me with this response, this question that I got from a viewer, and I'm going to read the entire question and we're going to try to tackle this. I'm going to let you all know that this is going to be something that we tackle in sessions. So this is not going to be we're answering everything at once. It will be probably a part one, two, three, and four of this because this is so much information that because there's so much information we want to give that I just don't feel like we can tackle in one. So jumping into it right now, hello. First of all, I must say I love your channel. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Makes me happy. You're a very informative and a wonderful person to listen and watch on YouTube. I was wondering if you could discuss about not so much going out into public wearing diapers, ABDL diapers, but more so going to the doctors and telling them, being honest with them about why you are wearing them, incontinence, anxiety, etc. What to expect that the doctor will say, and what questions you might have to answer, but also being respectful with wearing them to the doctors so you don't make the doctor upset or feel violated in a way because you're wearing them if you're not incontinent. And the difference between needing them, wanting to wear, and fetish wearing at the doctors. There's really no videos on this subject that go in depth on it. If you could, I would really appreciate it. Have a wonderful day. So I'm going to have this question on the screen somewhere, guys. I'm just going to pop it up. That way you can see as we're tackling it. Mark, I know, oh my gosh, I sent this question to you ahead of time, but I know that was a lot to read. We're going to tackle just one part of it, okay? Just for
Sure.
today. Now, before I even jump into having Mark share that, I'm going to let you all know that if you are not subscribed to Saucy with D, I am going to have with Mark the extended conversation. So, whatever we do not discuss, as you guys know, The Best Life is purely informational, is a vanilla channel, and I share helpful tips. However, Mark will get with me on the extended conversation on Saucy with D, and we will get into more details. So the 18 plus and over audience, that will be where you will find the extended version on this conversation. All right, Mark. So let's talk about this now. He said, I'm going to start back. I was wondering if you could discuss about not so much going out into public wearing diapers, ABDL, but more so going to the doctors and telling them, being honest with them about why you wear them, incontinence, anxiety, etc. Let's stop right there, all right? Because what I'm thinking is if you're going to your primary care physician, then they already know that you are experiencing incontinence issues, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you're experiencing incontinence, true incontinence that is something that is out of your control, that just came out of nowhere, you should not tackle that yourself. You should involve a medical doctor, and therefore, they would know. I mean, if you're doing it right, they would know. It's not the best way to spring it on them, just start dealing with it and then have them ask you questions. In the same way that if you had, I don't know, um, a giant, cut or something like that, or
Mm-hmm.
not even a cut, but something, and you just bandaged it up, and then they would say, "So what's with the bandage?" Or like maybe you broke your arm and you did
Right.
it yourself, and they'd say, "What's with that?" Like you would bring that to their attention first, obviously. Um, because as far as the doctor is concerned, incontinence is not only a serious health issue that the majority of people are doing whatever they can to make not happen. It's also a symptom of a lot of more serious issues that they would be very alarmed if it was something that they just sort of either you told them in that you were experiencing incontinence all of a sudden and you weren't. That would lead them along the path of doing whatever it takes to do what they would expect to do in order to reverse that and also determine if it's a symptom. So number
Mm-hmm.
one, don't do that. And then second, if you are in a situation where they are, you know, not just sprung upon them, then they're going to, put you through likely a series of tests, and it could be expensive. It could be, it's not in your best interest. Like doctors exist to help you, and they're not like an authority person that is telling you what to do
Mm-hmm.
arbitrarily. So like you need to utilize them for what they're there for, which is to provide relevant medical assistance. And if it's not relevant, then you might not take that route. So I think the biggest part of this conversation to begin with is why are you wearing,
Mm-hmm.
and
I
and
agree.
then like what's the filter for that? Because I think there's three reasons to be wearing, and maybe this is to, maybe there's more, but like these seem like the three big buckets. Number one, incontinence. We just talked about that. If it was truly incontinence, 100%, then they're going to be partnering with you on what you're going to do about that. Number two, which was mentioned in here, something around like mental health, and let's call it, for this instance, anxiety. It could be a
Yeah.
lot of other things, but like if it's anxiety, then the diaper is being worn for comforting reasons, like a kind of a security blanket, if you will, or whatever. And it's frequently, I think that it's probably not talked about that much. Maybe this is the part that he said isn't talked about,
Right.
is the fact that it's used kind of in self-medicating style. And in that instance, a doctor, if you're upfront about it and say, I experience anxiety. This is a way for me to deal with anxiety that works for me without having me to have any kind of prescriptions, or it's in addition to prescriptions, or whatever it is. But it's part of my mental health regime. Um, there's nothing that's going to fall into their world that this is going to that they're going to suggest you not do. I mean, a real way to cover your bases, and probably a good, in my opinion, move in the first place, is to actually have a conversation with, if this is the case for you, a mental health professional, so they can help you, give you the tools you need to get the most out of it. Because from a doctor's perspective, if you're wearing all the time, there is some health things that they might want to talk to you about. So we'll get in. I guess we can talk about that really quickly. But the third grouping, and this is probably the one that when he's talking about respect, that I think is probably worth talking about a little bit, is if it's purely a sexual fetish and you're using the embarrassment of this as a way to self gratify, I would say that that's over the line. So that's probably the
Yeah.
disrespectful thing. So if we say the first one is one that they would know about anyway, and the third one is crossing the line, then the second one is the one that it probably does affect a lot of people, and it's worth a conversation. And it's not, I would assume, for most people going to be easy, but it's
Mm-hmm.
necessary so they know that they're not in the first or the last camp.
Mm-hmm. Wow, you gave so much valuable information. And I'm going to tell you right now, number three, that's going to be on the extended conversation, which talked about the sexual gratification part of it. Because I've
Sure.
had people who have done things intentionally on chats with me simply because. And I understand why medical professionals would feel insulted and disrespected. And obviously, they have probably. I've had someone who said to me before that they were removed, like a doctor stopped wanting to care for them based on that.
Sure.
And nurses have. I'm sure there are many nurses who've gone through this as well. But Mark, you've shared so much information. My fellow, the person who wrote this, viewer, I hope that we answered. Like I said, this is going to be possibly a four-part topic segment. And I'm going to have Mark back and we're going to discuss a little more and get into a little more details into this. And I'm hoping to just continue to bring valuable, helpful content, information that's going to be helpful for not just adults, but for also parents who are dealing with special need kids, and just to help families and caregivers. Thank you so much, Mark, for today. And I'm hoping, guys, if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. And don't forget, Saucy Bidi, I'm going to have a link somewhere in the description. Feel free to join and listen for the extended conversation with Mark. That's it for today, y'all. Thanks again, Mark. You have a good day. Okay.